Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Chelsea Explain. I hope you are doing amazing. I'm doing that because Chelsea has gone through to the second stage, which is the knockout stage, and we're gonna play against the Portuguese side Benfica, who has been very impressive, topping their group, beating the likes of Bayern München. This is going to be a very serious test that I think Chelsea needs desperately. We have played against opponents that isn't great, and you then expect to win with these. We need to face tougher opponents. We need some serious tests, because that's when you can see the mistakes being happen. You can see what you need to improve upon, and you get a better and clear picture of your strengths and weaknesses, because if you're playing against these lesser opponents, you won't get that same feedback as you would if you're playing tougher opponents. So personally, as a Chelsea fan, I want us to play against the best opponents, because that's also gonna force us to improve quicker, and we need that. The main talking point in this video is going to be around how we can improve our final third a little bit with some tweaking. But let me just show you my predicted lineup, and then we're getting into those tweaks. I would this would be my personal lineup, and it kind of picks itself. The only change I will make is of course the goalkeeper, because as much as I think Sanchez is a fantastic, great shot stopper, and I think he's one of the best goalkeepers to really command his box coming out and collecting crosses. But I'm not gonna stress this further. You already know the reasons why I would pick Jorgensen ahead of him. But the rest of the team kind of picks itself. We have James coming in this time as a defender, not as a midfielder. I would like to have Reece James as this makeshift back three that we usually have, and he's gonna play alongside Tosin, who has been very, very impressive, and Levi Colwill. Cucurella as a left back, inverting into the midfield, no question about it. In the midfield, we're gonna have Caicedo being the pivot next to an inverted fullback in Cucurella. Enzo Fernandez starts, bomb forward, occupying the left half space. Our front four is going to consist of Madueke on the left hand side. Has been very impressive as a left winger, I have to say that. We know Neto can play there as well, so it's really nice having a right left winger that can play on both flanks. Neto on the right hand side, Palmer in the middle, occupying the right half space, Delap up front. A proper number 9 with excellent movement. So the tactical tweaks we can make here, or the things we can improve in the final 30s, and I noticed this in recent games, and I think this is also why Cole Palmer goes a little bit silent and is not really getting into goal scoring positions enough. As I noticed in our recent games, if our half space players is gonna drop down and receive possession, then sometimes our wingers are dropping down as well. But then we kind of have players doing the same thing, occupying the same areas. What I would like to see is if the half space player is coming down on the flanks, receiving the ball at pass, then I want the winger to move either inside or behind the back line. So we get that sort of direct movement from the wingers. If the opposite is happening and the wingers is coming down, receiving a pass, then I want the half space players to move behind the opponent's backline. So they constantly have a dilemma of who to mark. You really have to attack these half spaces and the sort of called Manchester City assist zones as much as possible to play those cutback passes that is so difficult to defend against. I mean, in FIFA I hate conceding those goals. I concede those all the time. It's called FC now, but you know what I mean. Even if the half space player drops down, receive a pass on the flank, and if the winger decides to move inside, then they can cut inside, play a diagonal cross on the far post, they can have a shot on goal, or they can play a little clip through ball to the Lap, who is moving in behind, because his movement is also excellent. I really hope we can try to be even more attacking in the system and not to cautious. But if we're going back to these half space roles, I also think Palmer is going silent because he's not making this movement into the Manchester City half space zones enough. I don't think Enzo Fernandez is doing that either. So then we need more movement from the winger. Or even the Lap as a striker can move into that space. That we have actually seen that quite a lot. So it adds another element, another player that is making movement into those spaces that is so difficult to defend against. I can also understand why Palmer isn't as effective, and then it's like, okay, how are we going to fix this? Because under Pochettino he was a right winger, but he had the license to roam in whatever space he wanted to because he had that type of IQ and intelligence, and it was literally impossible to mark Palmer and predict what he was gonna do. I mean, if you're playing as a winger, you likely most of the time is gonna be in 1-versus-1 situation and therefore have more space and time on the ball. What you're gonna do? Palmer could easily go on the outside, cut inside, drift more centrally, drop down. He doesn't have the same type of sort of free role like he did on the Pochettino. On the Maresca, we're playing a quite rigid system, and he's playing in more of a central half space or right half space where he's gonna face 2-3 opponents most of the time that is closing him down. There's gonna be a defensive midfielder marking him, perhaps, which makes Palmer having less time and less space on the ball to do something. It can also come down to that he is a new role for him, and it's working when it comes to creating chances, but he's not getting enough space, or he's not getting into enough positions to score goals. But he has also missed a lot of chances that I think he should have converted. So that is also on Cole Palmer. I think if Maresca is gonna go away a little from his rigid system and allow certain players to have that movement of freedom that you can't coach, as Super Tommy T once said, I think we're gonna get that extra X factor in Palmer, and he's gonna score more goals. But also, if we're having players that can help and overload on the flanks, then the opponent's gonna have another player to worry about. That should also free up more space for Palmer to receive a pass and do something with it. It can also be, confidence factor. He's completely out of confidence because he's only scored like 1 goal in I don't know how many games, and that's gonna maybe affect when you're getting the opportunities he's therefore missing. So please guys, let me know what you think of the tactical tweaks, this sort of movement in the half space by wingers and half space players, and moving in diagonally, moving into Manchester City zones. Do you think this is gonna open up for us to score more goals and make our attack being more dangerous? Let me know that, and please let me know what you think of Cole Palmer's role and how he's performing compared to last season. Do you think it's a problem? Do you think it comes down to Palmer himself? Do you think it comes down to Maresca's system? Let me know that, and we can have the discussion going in the comments down below. If we're just gonna end the video on how I think the game is going to go, and if we can go all the way to the final. Benfica is a strong side, very flexible against the opponents they're facing. They know exactly what they're gonna have to do. I think it's going to be a very close game, and I think it's gonna finish 1-1 and then be decided on overtime or penalty. I think it's gonna be decided there, and we're gonna come out as victorious and go through to the quarterfinals. If we're going through to the quarterfinals, we're gonna face Botafogo or Palmeiras. I think we're gonna go through there, and then in semi-final we could face Manchester City, and that's gonna be a serious test. But I think we usually play pretty well against City, so anything can happen there. And then if we're going through there, it's the final, and then it's the 50-50 chance of who gets the Club World Cup trophy. If you like this video, subscribe to my page, hit that notification bell down below, and thank you guys for watching, and I'm out guys, peace.